Let me briefly address several inaccurate statements offered by some as events have played out in Portland. Our law enforcement officers are not an occupying force, and they are not serving as a general domestic security agency. They have been deployed for an extended period of time to one city, and that's Portland, and to protect federal properties. Our law enforcement officers are not stormtroopers, the Gestapo, or thugs. They are civil law enforcement officers who wear clearly marked uniforms, who are properly trained, who follow established law enforcement procedures and practices, and operate within their authorities. It's been suggested that our law enforcement officers should not be in Portland if not invited by state or local officials. And while our preference is always to partner with local and state law enforcement, enforcing federal law is not by invitation. Unlike local law enforcement, we cannot be directed to ignore criminal activity and actions, and we will never shy away from our statutory duties. On July 14th, I placed phone calls to the mayor of Portland and the governor of Oregon. I offered the full resources of the department to assist them in ending the violence directed at the federal courthouse. Their answer was stark. It was no thank you, and please remove all DHS law enforcement officers from Portland. Fortunately, the governor thought better about this decision and reached out 2.5 weeks later to offer Oregon State Police support to address the violence. As of today, the full augmented DHS law enforcement posture remains in Portland. They will continue to remain until we are assured that the Hatfield Federal Courthouse, as well as other federal facilities in Portland, will no longer be violently attacked. And while we have seen a noticeable decrease in violent activity directed at the federal courthouse in recent days, make no mistake, there continues to be violence in Portland. Over the past 7 days, Portland police have declared a riot on 4 different occasions. Glass bottles and blinding lasers have been directed at Portland police officers. Numerous arrests have been made, and the Portland Police Association building has been set on fire. While this violence is not directed at the federal courthouse, DHS law enforcement officers remain on alert should it return.